Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing another 24-hour readathon. I did one a while ago and I really enjoyed it, so I thought let's do another one. So get comfortable, grab a snack, let me know in the comments what book you're reading, and let me tell you about my TBR for today. Okay, the book I'm going to be starting with today is The Odyssey by Homer. Now, if you're going to do a 24-hour readathon, I would recommend you start with a short book first. I have about 85 pages left in The Odyssey, so I think I can finish this today. So this will be the first book. Then after that, we have a couple of different options. I definitely want to read Spy Family Volume 5. I've just been loving this so much. This character is very interesting and disturbing, so I'm kind of scared to see how this volume is gonna go and if I'm gonna like it, but Spy Family Volume 5 is definitely on my TBR for today. Then I definitely want to read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, or at least a part of it, because we're reading this for the book club and we're reading this for October and I haven't started it yet. So I want to start it today. I want to read a decent chunk out of it, but I'm definitely not going to read this entire thing. I mean, it's over 1,000 pages. I don't think I could even do that in 24 hours. So I'm just gonna get started with this book and we'll see how far I can get. I kind of want to have a smaller read to change it up a little. I have a couple of options. I either want to start The Turn of the Screw or The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter. I'm not sure yet which I'm gonna read and how far I will get in the other books, but we'll see. We'll have something to choose between if I need something else. This is TBR for today. We're going to see how much I can read in 24 hours. It's a big TBR, so let's get started. Okay, it's currently 1:30 p.m. and I'm going to start with this readathon. As I said, I'm going to start with The Odyssey by Homer. The book is basically about humans and gods, right? So you have the immortal gods who basically decide everything that happens, and then you have the humans. It's constantly this blaming game of who is responsible for everything bad that happens, and some of the humans keep saying like, oh, it's the gods to blame, Zeus is to blame, but then Zeus doesn't want to take the blame. Zeus is like, these mortals, they are to blame. He says, ah, how shameless, the way these mortals blame the gods. So Zeus thinks he's not to blame, right? But then we have this scene later in the book where there's a ship that is going home. It's sailing across the ocean and the gods are kind of contemplating to do something about it or to get it home safely. And there's this scene, the gods are kind of like arguing about it, and Zeus says, wait, Zeus who collects the clouds had second thoughts. Here's what seems best to me. As the people all lean down from the city heights to watch her speeding home, strike her into a rock. This is the man that says, I'm not to blame for anything. And he's just like, what shall we do about it? Strike her into a rock. Like, sometimes this book is just so funny and weird and I love it. I finished The Odyssey, and even though I enjoyed it a lot, I definitely didn't enjoy it as much as the Iliad. The story basically follows Odysseus and he's trying to make his way back from the Trojan War, but he has angered the gods, so they don't want to send him home the easy way. It takes him about 10 years to get back to Ithaca, to his wife and his son, and he has been fighting in the war for 10 years as well. So his homeland Ithaca has been without a king for 20 years. You also follow Odysseus' wife Penelope and how she is kind of playing the political game as a woman, even though she doesn't have as much power as a king would have. I feel like the Iliad was so much more fast-paced, so much quicker. I'm reading the Odyssey and the Iliad for university, and we're going to be writing an essay on them. And I get to choose what I want to write the essay on, but I have to relate it to a different piece of media. And I really want my essay to have like one overarching theme. So I tabbed things that I found interesting and things that really return time and time again. I did the same for the Iliad, and now I can choose which theme I want to write my essay on. So the gods are very interesting to me. I wasn't expecting them to be so like human-like. They eat, they sleep. Like, gods need sleep. I didn't expect to read that at all. But this is definitely a timeless classic. The gods, the humans, they portray so many of the same qualities that we have. They portray love and grief and anger and pride. I'm really excited that I read the Odyssey. Now that I'm done with the Odyssey, we're going to move on to Spy Family. So I'm going to be reading Spy Family Volume 5 next. But before we continue the Spy Family, I want to go outside and kind of get some fresh air, stretch my legs a bit. And I really want to go to the garden center to look at some pumpkins and some fall items. So I think I'm going to do that first. I will take you guys along with me. And then when I'm back, we'll continue reading. So let's go. Okay, it's now 8 p.m. I've just finished Spy Family Volume 5 and it was really good. So now I'm going to continue with Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Of course, I cannot finish this in one sitting, but we're just gonna see how far I can get. I'm really excited to see what this is about. I've heard it's about magic and magicians and history, and it's kind of a combination between that. But all the people I've heard who read this have absolutely loved it, so that's giving me really high hopes. And it also has drawings, so I'm really excited to see what this book is going to be like. I've never read from Susanna Clarke, so I'm really interested to see what her writing style is like. So let's get started with this one. Hi, it's about 10 p.m. now and I'm really tired. So I just wanted to close off the day by talking a little bit about the books I read and saying goodnight. It's now 10, so we're about math is hard. 8.5. I started 1:30, so 8.5 hours into this challenge, and I've been really enjoying it. I love doing 24-hour readathons, and today has just been a lot of fun, so I'm really happy. I would love to do more of them, but just life is busy, so I don't always have 24 hours to just read. As I said, I finished Spy Family Volume 5. I think I'm going to give this 3 stars. I've rated all the Spy Family volumes up until now 4 stars because I've been enjoying them so much. I feel like the humor is just really well done. So I really enjoyed Volume 5 as well. However, all the volumes kind of focus on different characters. This character is a little strange to me. Some other characters in here as well are just very weird and they have weird obsessions, and this book was just kind of full of those characters, so I didn't enjoy it as much as the other volumes, so that's why I gave it 3 stars. There was this one scene in this book which was very well done in my opinion. Anya, the child, goes to her father's work. Her father's actually a spy, but he pretends to be a psychiatrist, and she goes to his work and talks about what he does as a job. And as a psychology student, I really like that scene. But yeah, as I said, 3 stars. Then I started with Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and I'm a couple chapters in and I'm really enjoying it. There's the camera. Okay. I'm really enjoying it. It's very good and dark. We follow this group of so-called magicians who study magic but they don't practice it. And then there are a couple of magicians who believe that in order to be a magician you should actually practice it, and they're trying to find the practical magic in England. I've been really enjoying this book, and I've seen a lot of people in the book club already finish it and rate it like 5 stars, 4 stars, very highly. So I'm very excited to see what is next. Now I do want to start another book tomorrow because I don't want to continue reading this book for the remainder of the challenge. So I'll have to see which book I want to pick up tomorrow. It might be one of the shorter books that I showed in the beginning of the video, or maybe the audio book. I'm just gonna have to see. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll just read a couple more chapters of this and then I'll go to bed myself. I hope you're enjoying this video. I don't think I'm ever gonna do an all-nighter for this. I think I can't. You see I'm tired. Okay, you see how tired I already am, and it's 10. Imagine if I had to stay up all night. Honestly, I don't think I could. So yeah, for now it's just gonna be the span of 24 hours, but maybe one day. So I'll see you tomorrow for the rest of the challenge. Good night. Hi, good morning. It's the next morning of the 24-hour readathon and I have some work to do this morning. So I thought I would maybe play an audiobook, listen to an audiobook while I do my work. I have some work to do. I have some admin to do, some bills to pay. So I thought I would listen to an audiobook while I do those things. I have found the audiobook of The Age of Magic by Ben Okri. Look at this cover. It's so beautiful. It has the mountains and then shadows in the mountains of a train and luggage and people. And it sounds very interesting. It says 8 weary filmmakers traveling from Paris to Basel arrive at a small Swiss hotel on the shores of a luminous lake. Over the course of 3 days and 2 nights, the travelers will find themselves drawn into the mystery of the mountain reflected in the lake. One by one, they will be disturbed, enlightened, and transformed, each in a different way. That just sounds so interesting and beautiful. I love Switzerland. I would love to go to Basel to see the mountains. Just the mountains reflecting in the lake below sounds so beautiful. It sounds like my perfect vacation. So I'm very interested in this book. It's quite a short audiobook, so I think I'm able to finish it today. However, I just saw this audiobook has 15 ratings and it has an average rating of 2.9, which is not that high. People tend to describe this book as confusing and boring. So I think we're just gonna listen to the audiobook of The Age of Magic and get some work done, and I'll see you after. Hi, it's a little later and I finished my work and the 24-hour readathon is now officially over. So I wanted to give you a little update on the books that I read today. So yesterday, of course, I started by finishing The Odyssey. I had about 80 pages left and I really enjoyed this book. So I gave it 4 stars. Then I continued by reading Spy Family Volume 5. I love the Spy Family volumes. They're so funny and amazing and I'm really enjoying this series. I ended up rating this book 3 stars, whereas the other volumes I all rated 4 stars. So this book was a little less enjoyable for me. I think because it focused more on side characters that I didn't really like, but I still really want to continue the rest of the series. Then I also started reading Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and I got about 80 pages in. I'm now at chapter 6 and I'm really enjoying this book. So as I said, this book is about magicians in England who are trying to find real magic. And the magic is not really what I expected, but I'm still really enjoying it. I have read a lot of big books this year. I've read The Lord of the Rings, The Count of Monte Cristo, Middlemarch, but each time I pick up a 1,000-page book, I'm just so scared. And the beginning is so daunting, and the same goes for this book. Right now when I'm at the beginning, I just don't know how I'm ever going to finish this book, but I know I've done it in the past. I still really enjoy reading big books because you get to spend so much time with these characters. Currently, I don't really have a favorite character yet. We've only met Mr. Norrell from the duo, and Mr. Norrell is not really... He's not unlikable, but he's also not very likable. He's a very middle-of-the-road character for me. So I'm interested to see if his character develops any and if we're gonna get good female characters in this book. So that is my update on this book. I have, of course, not finished it yet, but I did start it for this readathon. And then lastly, I listened to the audiobook of The Age of Magic by Ben Okri, which was definitely a surprise. I really love the setting. As I said before, just Switzerland is such a beautiful setting to me, and to have a book take place in that setting is just so magical in itself. This book also discusses so many interesting topics, from friendship to love to inner demons to traveling to what it means to be in a different place to your relationship with yourself. Yeah, there are a lot of interesting discussions. In one chapter, this character starts a discussion about will and he starts to become a motivational speaker, and I wasn't really expecting that. The book has a lot of twists and turns and I wasn't really expecting the story to go that way, because in the synopsis it says that it's a group of filmmakers who go to film something in Switzerland, and I don't believe they do any filming. No filming takes place. I really felt like it was more a debate club than a filming club, because they don't really... Yeah, they don't film anything. It's supposedly a group of 9 characters, but I couldn't name them to save my life. We only really follow 3 characters. I could not name all the characters. They were very underdeveloped. Some characters had a personality, but I don't feel like their personality grew anything in the book. What also surprised me in the beginning was the length of the chapters, because I don't have the physical book, but some of the chapters were so short that I don't think they could fit on a page. If I would count the lines, they would probably not even fill half of a page. So that very much surprised me. In the beginning, I was actually wondering if I was listening to a summary of the book or the actual book itself. Pretty much every chapter is really short, but some are just a couple of lines, which personally didn't enjoy. I know short chapters are nice, but I just needed more explanation, especially because the book dove into so many interesting topics and important discussions, and then the chapter would just end with a Pinterest quote and no explanation, no deliberation, nothing at all, which was very disappointing to me. I feel like a lot of the chapters felt like kind of a Pinterest board. There were just a lot of quotes, and I would loved more explanation, which we unfortunately didn't get. So yeah, I love the topics, but I think the execution was just not for me. So I would give this book 2.5 stars, but I'm still very happy that I read it. It was unique, nothing like I've ever read before, and I love discovering new books. So I'm really happy with the books that I read today. I feel like I read a lot, and I love doing 24-hour readathons. Because I got to experience so many different books. I mean, The Age of Magic is just so different from Homer and so different from Spy Family. So I love delving into all these different genres. So I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!